Hello folks, Richard Moore. Y'all know what it is. So happy Memorial Day. And of course, we're honoring all the men and women that fought through the years and died to keep and make this country free. Let's not forget the traitors as well. Those veterans that have chosen to be traitors and betray their oath, their country, and their brothers and sisters in uniform by participating in community-oriented policing. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. So the truth of the matter is not that it's just some epidemic of PTSD. It's a makeup of lost causes, of reprobates, calling themselves with their front of betterment for our country, for our neighborhoods, save the children, and the mysteries of the whore Babylon, also known as Freemasonry. So as I'm out today traveling, I'm witnessing just a plethora of stalking. And so this tells you that these people absolutely, I'll let you get in, absolutely, and this is how they celebrate Memorial Day. They could care less about the falling, could care less about that flag. This country, they believe that whatever they're told to believe. So these are shallow-minded, narrow-minded, criminal morons. And so many of them are picking up, ladies and gentlemen, what written down. Apparently, they don't like it. And I know that anybody that knows me knows what I think about those that doesn't like it. I could give two tick turds what they like and what they don't like. By now, they're frontline crash dummies, these morons, snitches, rats that they cling to, they interject into your life. Realize that dear leader has in fact lied to them. They've told them all the talking points of how much they're in control, how funny it is to gaslight them about drones and people breaking into their home and all these kind of things. And when they realize, I'm showing you the perverts while I'm doing what I'm doing. So when they realize that maybe what can they do? Nothing. Do exactly what they were doing before they started snitching. And they had a life. There you go. This is indicative to those that have signed on the dotted line of obstruction of justice. Damn the United States. Damn God and country. And all for the Walmart gift cards and recognition and all this mumbo jumbo. But as I've mentioned before, and this is not going to be something, a passing phase, the Brady list is the single most important tool. And obviously, I'm going to have to beat that drum, and I'll be beating it until the cows come home. And simply because, try to adjust this, simply because, there we go, so many victims are caught up, and so many Americans are caught up in clinging to old, tired, and worn out talking points. They miss things. They miss the important things. And I want you to catch this. In 1963, Brady versus Maryland. The Supreme Court mandated that all officers of the court, law enforcement officers, prosecutors, judges, etc., of all levels, that their agencies avail themselves to transparency, and when complaints and so forth come through, to put them on the Brady list. Are they compliant? No, they're non-compliant. This is the blue lie of silence that all the way to the Attorney General, the state of Mississippi, and you can cut them out like paper dolls in every state in the union, their Public Integrity Office, like the Bar Association, etc., is simply the fox guard and the hen house. So I encourage you to make a citizen's report. You can follow my links. USA, GSA, Richard Moore, yours truly, a citizen reporter with the Brady list. That should tell the crash dummies something. Moreover, should tell these crooked, lying law enforcement officials that have been sucking the coffers dry of American tax dollars to live a lifestyle of deceit and lies. And that, my friend, is a problem. A big problem. So, yes, they're picking up what I'm putting down. As I continue to assemble alliances and team members, not of those that might or believe that they can do the job and handle the task at hand. In my opinion, the most capable individuals on this planet on their area of expertise, whether it be their journalistic prowess or their legal expertise, and on and on. I'm simply the face and the name, and I'm the one that, if the bullets are coming, send them my way. Send them my way. This old boy's not afraid. He's not going to back down, and I'm going to call a spade a spade. As Lee County, Mississippi, Sheriff's Department, Chickasaw County, Union County are doubling and quadrupling down on their abject obstruction of justice and violation of one's civil and constitutional rights, I'm doubling and quadrupling down on exposing them and taking them to task at a federal courtroom. One thing they may have noticed is I'm a little better than I was last time. And you know what? Tomorrow, I'll be a little better than I was today. You see, I come from the school of it's not based on how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up. I understand that challenges in life require taking chances. Many people do not want to leave their comfort zone, and then you have those that have curled up in a fetal position and they spend their days whimpering and crying and whining on social media to other people that are whimpering, crying, and whining. And all that at $3 to get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. For those that have had enough and they pass through the mourning period, the woe is me period, then I'm calling those individuals to get up, dust yourself off, square your shoulders, and join me. Enough is enough. When I made the statement, I was not kidding that 2 2022 would be the year that USA, GSA would change the game. It is exploit the exploiters. This wasn't a catchy catchphrase that I hoped that would catch on and get a bunch of emojis and all this stuff. You can take all that, keep it. But through that, I've been able to wade through the lame, brain-dead, moronic perpetrators and sift through that. And believe it or not, folks, you've got to move tons and tons and tons of dirt to get an ounce of gold. I'm not looking at the dirt. Many of you are looking at the dirt. You're looking at how big the problem is. You're looking at the dirt, the work, the labor. I'm looking for the gold. And the dirt is just part of the deal. The dirt doesn't stop me, doesn't overwhelm me, doesn't scare me. I absolutely will rise to the challenge, whatever it may be, whoever it may be. Submissions to the Brady list on these agencies I've mentioned in Lee, Union, and Chickasaw County are forthcoming. Here in a few days, I'll have a good starter list. From the time I enter that individual's name in there with the official complaint, and then I hit the enter button, in roughly 15 minutes or less, y'all will love this, it's the first hit on Google. I don't care where you are. Just put the cat's name in and bada bada boom, there it is. You know, metadata is a hell of a thing, boys and girls. As it goes for these trolls and these perps that have relentlessly played and toyed with victims. Understand that charging you with a hate crime is an injustice to American society. But to think that you somehow are anonymous and will escape culpability is a clear presence of your ignorance. So whatever you were told about the mental capacity and the wherewithal of those victims that did not give up, that continued to stay on their narrative and continued to say, I believe that the Constitution is still the Constitution and that justice in the end will prevail. We're finding out that your tax dollars, my tax dollars, a tune of a lot of money, hundreds and thousands of dollars already have been spent to shut me up. Why is that? Because the truth must stay hidden. They will do everything to protect the lie. This should be appalling to anyone that's listening to me right now. This should be more than objectionable. It should be appalling. This should be your call to duty, to do your part, whatever it may be. Report that corrupt member of our judicial system and law enforcement, to be a fundraiser, to share our content, or to be a contributor. There's many ways, but it's not an option. It's not an option to sit by and patiently wait for us, we Americans, we the people, to continue to lose our rights daily on the heels of the Texas school massacre. What they're not telling you is as they describe Salvador Ramos and him being isolated, secluded, bullied, poor grades, and on and on and on. Every characteristic to the T fits only one scenario, and that is he was a victim of the predictive policing via community-oriented policing, period. There is no other explanation outside of what I just gave you. Why didn't law enforcement run into the school? I posted a picture of a black and white American flag with the blue line as one stripe. And the caption is, "These colors don't run." The bottom caption, "Into schools to save children." Nothing could be further from the truth. Parents being handcuffed to prevent them from going in and doing the same. Where in the hell do they do that at? In Texas, obviously, that "don't mess with Texas" is a crock of shit. Period. May as well take that off there. Don't mess with Texas. If it means we'll foster cooperation with community-oriented policing, where we have citizens out here systematically torturing and committing crimes against other citizens. Texas, you can grab that crown. We allow people to die and to be slaughtered to further our agenda. Texas, you can grab that crown. We will no longer stand up for our freedoms and for our liberty and justice for all. Texas, you can grab that crown. So if "don't mess with Texas" means what I just said, leave it up. But I can tell you one thing. There's plenty of Americans, plenty of us that say, "Don't mess with America." And when you're doing things that are contrary to that Constitution and contrary to the rule of law and contrary to equal protection, my friend, you are definitely walking on the fighting side of this boy here. And I'm not alone. I am not alone. So as we take these good old boys that have set a narrative, when in 2005 a wrongful conviction where evidence was planted, that was the beginning of what should have been a total annihilation of Richard Moore, his credibility, his ability to ever be in a position to be heard. I was advertising a publication business at that time. Well, boys, how's that working out for you so far? Yeah, I should have been dead. I should have been completely out of the equation. You're exactly right. But here's what you didn't figure into the equation is I belong to somebody that you don't know. Just because you maybe have heard of it, doesn't mean you know him. I got a moron out here patrolling. I'm impressed. So, it's not working out. And when you manage to get away with these crimes that you've committed, whether it's a school teacher that is actively a user of illegal drugs, a known statutory rapist, living in adultery, yet riding the church pews and claiming holier than thou. Do we have a plethora, just an overabundance of fake Christians going to fake churches, holding a Bible they hadn't read, talking about a God they don't know? because they're being protected, they get to continue to have a moralist compass that centers on whatever the Home Office tells them it centers on. You see, God's Word is absolute. It's not evolving, doesn't change with the times. It's the same yesterday, it's the same today, and it is the same forever. Because that is a fact that has already been settled business. If it doesn't sound right, look right, smell right, taste right, honey, it ain't right. But the reason you're having this conundrum, a dilemma in your mind, is because you don't have the relationship with that individual, that person, that God, that absolutely is quicker than a twinkle of an eye. You got to answer before you ask him. That's how quick he is. God doesn't stutter. God doesn't talk out of both sides of his mouth. As I stand witness to my faith and to my God, others will attempt to do the same thing, yet they continue their involvement in community-oriented policing, the mob squad, the freak geeks, whatever you want to call them, and claim to be God-fearing people. I'm sure they are scared of God if it's meant in that context. I'll agree with them with that. And don't be scared of God. You need to be scared of the one you serve, and it's not God. You see, it's the one that can take your life and your soul. You can fear God or the devil, one of the two. There is no middle road. God will never condone one of his going against his other. So if you're on the right side of this battle, ladies and gentlemen, and then you ask me, what can you do? I can tell you, there's plenty you can do. If you're still at a loss what you can do, contact me, USAGSA at duck.com. USAGSA at duck.com. I'm going to have a link in there for the Brady list, and these entries will be a permanent part of these officers' records. This will not be without merit. It's not going to be opinions. It's going to simply be the facts, ma'am, and nothing but the facts. And once that is made part of their permanent record, we're leveling the playing field. So how does this affect things? That becomes exculpatory evidence, ladies and gentlemen. So when that officer's name is on anything, as it involves any citizen in any type of legal matter, their integrity comes into question because of the Brady list. I'll say it again. Integrity is a lot like virginity. Once it's gone, it's gone. These individuals that I'm talking about lost their integrity as a sworn officer long ago. I think it's long overdue that we become proactive in holding these people accountable. We shouldn't have to make those that are in a position and have a job to do, and it's to protect and defend the Constitution and the rights of every citizen, not just the ones they choose to or choose not to. When community-oriented policing came into there, if they couldn't say no to the money, then they said yes to the lie. They, in fact, abandoned their oath, sold their soul, and cast their lot with the almighty dollar. Only here, life is but a vapor, ladies and gentlemen. What profit of man to gain the whole world but lose his own soul? Those that have sold their soul for that little bit of money and that recognition, or you've been doing it too long to turn back now, let me tell you what. Your reward will be, depart from me. I never knew you. Those lives that sank and were lost in misery and despair because you, on your watch, allowed it. You either turned a blind eye or a deaf ear, or you were all in. Either way, you're 100% culpable. 100%. Folks, stay tuned, follow, share, subscribe. YouTube, USA, GSA, United States Anti-Gang Stalking Association. Until next time, God bless you.